Today I will explain to you how Cantarella works as easy as possible, so you never forget how she works ever again. Cantarella has many gimmicks going on in her kit, so let's get to it. And we can start here with her trance, which is this purple forte bar right here, and we want to gain it, so we want to gain trance. But why do we want to gain this trance to begin with? Well, when we have one or more of this trance, then we are able to cast a special heavy attack. So let's just say cast heavy attack. And when we cast this heavy attack, we will enter this mirage state, where your forte circuit, as you can see, has a different look, it becomes more purplish. So when we have one or more trance and we hold down our basic attack button to cast our heavy attack, we enter the mirage state. And in this mirage state, we can do many things. The first thing to notice that our skill changes, and that special skill has a difficult name, so we can just call it a FR skill, which stands for flickering referee. Okay, so when we enter this mirage state, we can cast this special skill. What benefit does it give us? Well, when we cast this special skill, this skill inflicts to the enemies, or better said, in a hazy dream, but we can call it inflicting for now. And enemies in this hazy dream have their movement speed. So casting this special FR skill does of course a bit more damage than our normal skill and puts enemies in this hazy dream state where they become slow. And when Cantarella attacks an enemy which is in this hazy dream, then something will be triggered which is called jolt. So when Cantarella attacks an enemy in this hazy dream, jolt will be triggered, and what this jolt will do is basically do more damage and unfortunately put the enemy out of that hazy dream. So it will remove hazy dream. So we see the flow now, and we can build upon this. Since now the question arises, alright then, to do all of this, I need to enter this mirage state and cast our enhanced skill. And to enter this mirage state and to cast my heavy attack when I have one or more of this trance. But how do I gain this trance to begin with? Well, the first thing is, when you intro with Cantarella, then you will gain +1 trance. The other way to gain this trance is when you are in the water, where you will gain 1 trance every 5 seconds. The other way is when you do basic attack 3. So when you do your basic attack combo, you will do basic attack 1, then 2, then 3 will be available, and when you cast your third basic attack, then you will gain 1 trance. The other way is when you cast your normal skill. So marking that with N. So not that enhanced skill here, but your normal skill, which transforms into this enhanced skill when you enter this mirage state. And you will gain 1 trance with this skill. And the last way to gain trance, which also gives the most trance, is when you cast your ultimate, which gives 3. And to dive a bit deeper into the ultimate, you might have noticed casting your ultimate doesn't only give trance, it also inflicts to all resonators in the team diffusion. So all your characters will get this diffusion thingy. And why do we want to have this diffusion thing on our head? Well, whenever the active resonator on the field deals damage, then a coordinated attack will be launched, which is a limit of 21 launched coordinated attacks. All you need to know is when I cast my ultimate, my allies get this state that whenever they attack, a coordinated attack will be launched. So what more does Cantarella provide for us? Well, there is another way to inflict this hazy dream onto the enemies. And that is when you cast this special skill right here, which we can say for short, because there's a long name, cast PD skill. So a special skill. So when you cast this special skill, enemies will enter the hazy dream. And all the rest will apply that when Cantarella attacks that enemy in hazy dream, extra damage will be triggered on that enemy because of that jolt, but they will be put out of that hazy dream. And the special thing about the skill is, it will also heal allies, which is always appreciated. So now the question arises, how do we cast this special PD skill then? Well, for that, you need to have 3 of this thing right here, which is indicated by all of these 3 glowing brighter than normal compared to these ones, as you can see. So 2 out of 3 are lit up here, and this one is not lit. But when those all 3 are lit up, then they shine a bit more brightly, and then your skill will light up purple like this. Okay then, so we want to have 3 of these things right here, which is called shiver. So we have 3 of this, then we can cast our enhanced skill, but another condition needs to be met too, and that is that we also want to be in the mirage state. Since if you have 3 of this shiver, but you are not in the mirage state, then you cannot cast this enhanced PD skill. But okay then, how do we get this shiver to begin with then? So gain shiver, if we are in the mirage state and have 3 of it, then we can cast an enhanced skill. So how do we gain shiver? Well, when you are in the mirage state and you cast your basic attack, which is a different basic attack than this basic attack sequence here. So let's call this normal basic attack. And then now we will go to our enhanced basic attacks. We are in the Mirage state and you cast your basic attack 1, you will gain Shiver and lose Mirage. Same case with basic attack 2, basic attack 3, which also in this Mirage state does some cool 3 coordinate attacks extra. When you dodge counter attack in the Mirage state, then you will also lose 1 Mirage and gain Shiver. But after you did this dodge counter, then your basic attack sequence will start from basic attack 2. The other way to gain Shiver is when you do a mid-air attack, when you're in this Mirage state of course, which you can cast by pressing the jump button, which will plunge you down to the ground. Since these Mirage attack sequences are done in the air, but in reality you will never actually cast this mid-air attacks, but it is there. And the last way is when you cast your intro skill when you're in the Mirage state, which will also launch some coordinate attacks and start your attacking sequence from basic attack 1. But this intro skill will basically never be used. So in the Mirage state you can do all of these special things, and when you do any of these special things, they will result in you gaining Shiver. So doing basic attack 1 will give you 1 Shiver, doing basic attack 2 will give you another Shiver, doing basic attack 3 will give you another Shiver, but it does consume trance, which is this thing. And luckily for us, doing all of this will also heal our allies. So now we see the flow of how Cantarella works. We want to gain trance, cast our heavy attack, enter the Mirage state. When we have entered the Mirage state, we want to immediately cast our FR skill to put the enemies in the Hazy Dream, then do our combo to gain Shiver, and when we have gained 3 of that, we can cast our other enhanced skill to put them in the Hazy Dream again. But we need to note, we can only cast this enhanced skill, this PD enhanced skill, when we are also in the Mirage state. So how do we exit this Mirage state then? Since we cannot cast this enhanced PD skill when we have only 3 Shiver. We also need to be in the Mirage state. So how do we exit this state then? Well, there are 2 ways Cantarella can exit the Mirage state. The first way is when she has 0 trance left, which is this thing right here. Or when she has been in the Mirage state for 8 seconds, then she will exit the Mirage state too. That 8 seconds itself is not really a problem. The biggest problem is this 0 trance. So that means when we enter the Mirage state with 3 trance and we gain Shiver by doing all of these things, and when we have gained 3 Shiver, then you might think, I can cast enhanced skill. But no, like we said before, you also need to be in the Mirage state. And when do you exit this state? When you have 0 trance. So that means you should not accidentally basic attack spam too much with Cantarella, as if you do too many basic attacks in this Mirage state, then you will lose all your trance, which will put you out of the Mirage state, which means you will not be able to cast your enhanced PD skill. So our rule of thumb is enter the Mirage state with 4 or more trance stacks. Yes, you can enter it with 1 or more, but it is recommended to enter it with 4 or more, so you can cast that enhanced skill. So we can say 4 or more preferred, which is basically more than a required than a preferred, but the option is there, so we can say preferred for now. Not that we would enter her Mirage state less than 4 anyway. And there are 2 other things we haven't mentioned yet. That is that 1, when you intro skill with Cantarella, yes, you gain 1 trance stack, but also she will start her basic attack combo from basic attack 3. So we intro with her and you basic attack, it will immediately start executing basic attack 3. And the last thing we got with Cantarella is of course her outro. And what does her outro do? Well, the resonator to which you outro will gain increased havoc damage bonus and also increased skill damage bonus. And this is the main flow of Cantarella basically. And yes, there are a bit more things to her kit happening in the background. Like when you cast echo skills, she gets extra concerto energy and also havoc damage bonus. And that even casting her skills is considered as casting echo skills and all that stuff. But many of those things will just happen in the background when you do her rotation, right? And also, of course, your team's rotation correctly. And of course, how do you evolve Cantarella? I just recommend you to go to Pride One. They have a beautiful list there with recommendations, which echoes to use when. So now let's do the most simple Cantarella rotation there is. And I will assume Cantarella's ult will be up when you do her rotation. So the first thing is we want to intro into her. So step 1 is intro, which will give us 1 trance. But we will have 0 shiver, since the only way to gain shiver is when we do this wall thingy right here when we are in the mirage state. What is step 2 now? Well, our objective is simple. We want to enter the mirage state with 4 or more trance, so that I can exchange those trance to shiver to cast our enhanced skill, which is called our PD skill. And why 4? Well, if we entered our mirage state with 3 trance and exchange those to 3 shiver, then we would be out of the mirage state, as you can see right here, since we cannot cast our enhanced skill if we are not in the mirage state. So we need to have 1 in our back to cast this enhanced skill. Okay, so step 2 then. We have 1 trance. How can we get more? Well, like I said, I assume you start her rotation with her ult up. So that means obviously step 2 would be casting her ultimate. But luckily, we can easily animation cancel Cantarella's normal skill. So we can do our normal skill. So still 0 shiver and 2 trance. And then immediately animation cancel that with our ultimate. So step 3 is ult. Still 0 shiver and now 5 trance. And because we cast her ult, this means we have coordinate attacks available. So whenever Cantarella will do her attacks or other resonates in our team, these coordinate attacks will be launched. So what's step 4 now? Well, we got enough trance, we even got it maxed. So now we want to enter the Mirage state. How do we enter it? Well, casting our heavy attack. So bam. And still 0 shiver, 5 trance. What will be our 5th step? Well, by entering this Mirage state, this FR enhanced skill will be available. So step 5 will be, why not, casting this enhanced skill, which will not change our stacks, but it will inflict Hazy Dream onto the enemy, which means their movement will be reduced, and when Cantarella attacks them, it will do extra damage, but unfortunately remove that Hazy Dream. Okay, what will be step 6 then? Well, I want to cast this enhanced PD skill. That means I need to get Shiver. And how can I get my Shiver? By doing any of these things in this chunk. So when you're fighting against an enemy, you will notice that you cannot easily do basic attack 1, 2, and 3. Sometimes you need to dodge counter. I highly doubt you will use your mid-air attack, and we won't be introing with Cantarella when she's in the Mirage state, since we have already introed with her at step 1. So assuming we're fighting against an enemy who is attacking the whole time, let's say step 6 will be then, yes, we can cast our basic attack easily. What will that do? Give us 1 shiver, but reduce 1 trance, as you can see right here. Like I said, we're fighting against enemy, he's attacking us, we're dodging. Okay, then step 7 will be, let's say, we have dodged him and attacked him, of course. So a dodge counter. So 2 shiver and 3 trance left. And now we attack him again. That means 3 shiver, 2 trance. And voila. Oh yeah, by the way, this is step 8. We can see we have 3 shiver. And we are still in the Mirage state, since I doubt 8 seconds have passed. And we do not have 0 trance. So now we can be cautious. We should not attack him too much. We should not spam our basic attacks, since if we empty our trance, they will be out of the Mirage state and won't be able to cast this enhanced skill. So what will be step 9 then? Well, assuming everything goes fine, we can immediately cast our enhanced skill. But if you are like, I need to dodge 1 more time, you can dodge, counter him. That means you will be then left with, let's say, that's step 9, 1 trance and 4 shiver. That's possible too, because this enhanced skill has a small bit of animation going on. So we do not want to get interrupted by the enemy with it. So let's say step 9 is we dodge him again, because he's attacking the whole time. And now we find the opportunity to cast our enhanced skill. So step 10 will be cast enhanced PD skill. And our stacks will not change. So the enemy is now in the Hazy Dream, movement is slowed. What can we do now? Well, by this time, our Concerto should have been filled easily. We can outro now, without doubt. But before we do that, we need to remember, we also have our Echo, of course. So step 11 will be casting our Echo, cast Echo. And our stacks stay the same. And then step 12 will be outroing to our ally. And this is the whole rotation of Cantarella. As easy as that. And of course our stacks stay the same for the next rotation. And as you can see, we start with 1 extra shiver stack. That's great. But we need to remember, we do want to get our concert energy up before we outro, of course. So there's no problem to do 1 extra attack in this wall zone, while keeping in mind, of course, that we are not spending all our friends. But that concert energy will be not that big of a deal, since Ella has some things in her kit going on that she gets extra concert energy when you cast echo skills and all that stuff. So that's a thing you need to keep in mind. But all in all, as you can see, she's very straightforward. I hope you will remember her kit forever like this. So I thank you for paying attention and see you the next time. Bye.